Alright, welcome to 5.3. We're going to solve polynomial functions today. We've done this before. This should be a lot of review. We're going to add a little twist to it. So let's get going. Our warm-up. What methods did we use to solve quadratic equations? Back in chapter, 3 or 4, we solved quadratic equations. One way we did that was by factoring. Right, factor by grouping. Another way that we used was the quadratic formula. And the third thing was, if we could just solve it with our algebra abilities, we just solved it with our algebra abilities. So we could just use order of operations. Come to us. So those are the three ways that we found our zeros when we were solving quadratics. We're going to carry that into today. Now here, I don't really need to factor. I don't need to use the quadratic formula. I can just use order of operations because there's only two pieces, and so I can divide by 5. I get x squared equals 25. Okay, and then you undo a square by square rooting. When you square root, it's very important that you have your plus or minus, and then square root of 25 is 5. Okay, for this one, I'm going to subtract 125, so we get negative 125. Now, how do you undo a cube? Well, the way you undo a cube is to cube root the number. Okay, we're going to cube root the number. And all calculators are different. If you're using a typical calculator, there will be an X. There'll be a button that looks kind of like this. And you're basically going to do, in your calculator, you're going to hit the number 3, and then you're going to hit that button, and then negative 125. It's always good with negatives to put it in parentheses if you can. Otherwise, in this case, the parentheses aren't all that needed. But that's usually how it goes. If you're using a graphing calculator, it'll be in the math. You just hit math, and it'll be option number 4. Will be the cubed root. So that's how you get around your calculator. If you have a Casio, I have no idea. I don't really work with Casios, so you have to figure that one out on your own. All right, but we have so right now we have the cubed root of negative 125. I'm going to do that in my calculator here real quick. Cube root of negative 125 equals negative 5. Now, we don't have a plus or minus here because since it's cubed, there's only one option. There's actually only negative 5. Positive 5 doesn't work in this case. Okay, so with this one, now we add 125 to both sides. We're left with x cubed equals 125. Okay, and how do you undo that? You cube root it. And we have the cubed root of 125 would be 5. Okay, continuing on here, in order to get x by itself, we need to divide by 64. And so we're left with x cubed equals 1 over 8 when we reduce it down. Now, when we cube root this thing, there's a property that says that the cubed root of 1 over 8, that's actually the same as the cubed root of 1 over the cubed root of 8. You can split it up, top and bottom. That's fine. These are the same exact thing. Okay, so oftentimes this is easier to work with. The cubed root of 1, what times itself 3 times equals 1? 1, obviously. Now, what times itself equals 8? You can do this on your calculator. It's just a good math fact to start to memorize, is that the cubed root of 8 is 2. And so the cubed root of 1/8 is 1/2. Okay, with this one, we divide by 48. 162 divided by 48, does that work out nicely? No, it does not. However, turn it into a fraction and we get 27/8 if we reduced it down. Okay, same concept. We're going to cube root 27. We're going to cube root 8. Okay, and again, you can do these on your calculator. These are just good math facts to start to remember. The cubed root of 27, 3 cubed is 27, and so the cubed root of 27 is 3. And we just found out that the cubed root of 8 is 2, and so in this case it would be 3/2. Okay, we're going to find all real and imaginary solutions now. And we can use either, we have our list. We can use, probably not PEMDAS because we have 3 terms now. It's just not going to work out for us. We could use either the quadratic formula or factoring. Okay. First, I see that there is a GCF that could be taken out. I could take out a 2x. So let's see where that gets us. Oh, hang on. Take out 2x. We're left with x squared plus x minus 2. And I think we can factor this. What numbers multiply to -2? They add up to 1. It's going to be -1 and 2. Since there's no number out in front of the x squared, we can take the shortcut. X minus 1, x plus 2. Alright, now we need to set each piece equal to 0. This isn't any different than what we have been doing. So 2x equals 0. We divide by 2, and we get x equals 0. Hopefully you're getting pretty good at this by now. We've been doing it for quite a while. What minus 1 equals 0? 1. What plus 2 equals 0? -2. Okay, so these are our 3 solutions. Now, I want to draw your attention to the fact that we had, our highest power was 3, and we had 3 roots. Okay. Now with this one, I think I like, let's see where, we're just dividing stuff. Let's see where that gets us. Okay, so first off, let's divide the 6. Okay, we'll be left with x squared equals 8x. Okay, and then I'm going to divide each side by an x because they both, I can take an x away from both sides. If we divide here, it goes down a power. We're left with just x to the first equals 8. Interesting. It's interesting because my highest power here is 2. So I'm supposed to have 2 roots. This is one of them. I have to go dig for the other one. And oftentimes it's 0. So let's take a look and see if 0 works. Okay. If we plug 0 in here, 0 squared is 0, times 6 is still 0. 48 times 0 is 0. So 0 is our other root. Okay. Another way we could have done this, we could have done x squared or 6x squared and then subtracted the 48 over, minus 48x. And it probably would have been the better way to do it, but I wanted to take a shortcut. And now to realize we can take out a 6x, and we're left with x minus 8 equals 0. And here's where you see that here we have 0 and 8. So either way works. This way you're going to see them clearly. If you just use algebra like I did, you're going to have to realize, oh, my highest power is a 2. I need 2 roots. So I would probably recommend the red way. Sorry I ever did the blue way. Alright, here we go. This one, I can, first let's get everything on one side. X cubed plus 4x squared minus x minus 4. We'll learn from our past mistake here. It wasn't a mistake, it was just a different way of doing it. Okay, now I have 4 terms. There's no GCF I can take out. And so I'm going to group. Okay, take out from this first term, I'm going to take out an x squared and get x plus 4. From this term, I'm going to take out a negative 1 and get x plus 4. Okay, group them, x squared minus 1 and x plus 4. Okay, now I need to realize I have x squared minus a perfect square. That splits itself into x plus 1, x minus 1, and then x plus 4. Okay, and so what plus 1, negative 1, what minus 1 equals 0, 1, and negative 4. These are my 3 roots. Was I supposed to have 3 roots? Yes, I was. Okay, good deal. Alright, that's going to be it for part 1. I'm going to make a part 2 where we finish this out. So, see you back for part 2.